Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Samantha. Thank you so much for joining me. So today I'm going to show you how to make a really powerful revitalizing Ayurvedic hair growth spray. And whilst I've called it a hair growth spray, this spray is actually beneficial for the scalp as well because of the ingredients that we're going to be using, and I'll explain shortly. So this spray is amazing because it's going to help stimulate hair growth, and it's also going to strengthen the hair follicles and reduce the hair fall, and it's also going to reduce the hair shedding, and it also treats dandruff and scalp inflammation, and it also helps to regrow hair in bald patches. The first ingredient is going to be Brahmi, which is considered Ayurveda's most potent hair revitalizer. And that's because it has so many benefits for the hair as well as the scalp, and in fact it has been shown to be beneficial for almost everything. So not only does it help to stimulate growth, it can help to strengthen the hair follicles, it can help to strengthen the hair shaft as well, reducing hair breakage and improving length retention, and it also helps to treat dandruff and soothe an irritated scalp, and it also helps to condition the hair and add shine, and it helps to soften the hair and make it smoother. So it is amazing. The next ingredient is one of my favorites, which is fenugreek. So for this recipe I would recommend to use the fenugreek seeds. However, if you've got powder, you can still use it because we're using Brahmi powder, so you can still use fenugreek powder. So fenugreek can help to stimulate growth, and it also helps to thicken up the hair, and it also helps to treat dandruff and other scalp issues, and it also just helps to regrow hair in bald patches. So both fenugreek and Brahmi are a really good combination if you've got alopecia, because they can both stimulate hair regrowth. And then our next ingredient is going to be hibiscus. So I'm using the dried hibiscus flowers here. If you're using powder, then you just need to use half the quantity of the hibiscus that I'm going to be using in this recipe. So hibiscus is fantastic for conditioning the hair. It's going to make your hair nice and shiny and smooth, and it also helps to stimulate scalp circulation, just like fenugreek and Brahmi will do, and therefore the three ingredients are really going to help to boost scalp circulation and therefore stimulate growth. And hibiscus also helps to reduce premature hair graying. And then the next ingredient is going to be glycerin. I'm adding glycerin because I've always found that if you make a hair growth spray without adding a humectant, then after a while your hair can get really dry, and we don't want dry hair because dry hair breaks. So I like to add glycerin because that helps the hair to retain moisture and prevents hair drying. So if your hair doesn't like glycerin, you can leave it out, but make sure that you add a leave-in cream or something that's got humectants in it to prevent hair drying, or you could use honey instead. So the method is really simple. We're going to start by adding 1.5 cups of freshly boiled water into the jar, and then we're going to add a handful of hibiscus leaves. If you prefer more accurate measurements, it's approximately 2 tablespoons of hibiscus petals, but if you want to use powder, you use 1 tablespoon of hibiscus powder. See the beautiful color starting to come through, and then we're going to add 1 tablespoon of fenugreek seeds, and then 1 tablespoon of the Brahmi powder. And then once we've mixed all the ingredients in that jar, we're going to mix it all together, and then we're just going to cover and set it aside so that it infuses. So how long you infuse it for is going to determine just how potent your spray will be. So the longer you leave it, the better. So I would recommend that you let it infuse for at least 6 hours. Overnight is even better. And then now and again, just agitate it or shake it up just to improve or enhance the infusion. So after a while, you see that the seeds and the petals and the powder have settled right at the bottom. So it's now time to strain this, and I highly recommend that you strain with a tissue or a finely woven fabric, because even though we're not going to pour everything in and we're just decanting the liquid at the top, you'll see that there will still be some powder that's been floating about in that liquid, and you don't want this to get into your spray bottle because it can block your spray bottle. So yes, you will get a bit of wastage, but that's okay. It's more than worth it, because at the end of the day, just losing a little bit of liquid is much better than blocking your spray bottle. So if you're using tissue like I am, then you have to be gentle when you're squeezing, because you don't want to burst that and then start afresh. And I'll show you in a second what I mean by there being powder still in the liquid. So I just repeated the process until I had strained everything that I wanted to strain, and now I have this beautiful clean liquid, and I have all this stuff that's left behind. So we're not going to waste this. So you can actually make a gloss by blending all this with a conditioner, straining it, and then just using it as like a gloss. But you can also top up the same herbs and make a mask. And now we are going to add our humectant. So I like to use a proportion of 1 part glycerin to 5 parts of liquid. So I've got about 200 mils there. So I'm going to add about 40 mils of glycerin. And then I'm going to mix it really well to make sure that the glycerin and that liquid are thoroughly mixed. And that's essentially it. This is how we make that beautiful hair growth spray. So as you can see, it's very simple, but it is super effective. So I'll just put that in my spray bottle, and then in terms of how to use this is really versatile. You can use it as you would use any other hair growth spray. So I would say if you've got problems with hair growth or you've got bald patches, then the focus should really be on the scalp. So you apply it to the scalp, massage for a few minutes, and you leave it in. You don't wash it out, and you can apply this maybe 2 or 3 times a week, and you leave it in until your next wash day. If you have issues with your hair, then apply it both to the scalp and also to the hair. So you can use this as your liquid in the LCO or LOC method of moisturizing, or L or whatever method you use. So you can use this instead of just plain water. And because we've added a humectant, it's really going to help your hair to retain moisture, and your hair will be less likely to dry out. Another way to use it as a leave-in treatment is to actually use this as your final rinse. So let's say you've washed and conditioned your hair, and before you dry it off and moisturize, you can just apply this liquid throughout your hair and all over your scalp, and then proceed to moisturize and style your hair. But if you don't want to leave it in, you can actually use this as a pre-poo treatment. So you'd saturate your hair and scalp with this liquid, cover with a plastic or shower cap, and then leave it on for about half an hour. In terms of storage, there's no preservative in there, as you saw, so it needs to be kept in the fridge, and this will be good for a week. Beyond that, it'll start to go bad, so you'll need to throw it away. You can make a big batch, and what you can do is just freeze the excess, and then when you need it, you just defrost, and then you're good to go. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that and found it useful. And if you did, please do give the video a thumbs up. And before I go, thank you so much to all my subscribers. Really appreciate your love and support. And I hope you continue to find this channel really useful. If you've not yet subscribed, then please subscribe, and also please sign up for notifications so that you never miss any of my videos or posts in the community tab. And I'd also appreciate it if you share the videos on WhatsApp, your social media, etc. That would be really, really helpful. So until next time, my lovelies, you take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and God bless. Bye for now.